Okay, take two. Works better if the microphone's plugged in. Blah blah blah. Right, super dry, good old normal one. Anyway, been a bit distracted from comics lately for obvious reasons. I'll plug this one, it's better. And yeah, but every year around March, sometimes April, there's a sale in the Hankyu Umeda something bookstore, whatever the really big bookstore chain is in Japan. And yeah, there's a private railway called Hankyu, and they have a station called Hankyu Umeda, which is right next to JR Osaka Station. And there's a giant bookshop in there which has a foreign book sale every year around March or April. And yeah, it's on now, so I went and bought some stuff, and it's waffle about it in this haul video. So mostly modern things, and it's all kind of remaindered things. So I think they've just written it off, kind of. It's just junk from their warehouse, so I guess it doesn't count as a proper sales figure. So I risked buying some big too, but only old stuff still. But anyway, first thing I got was this, which I might just give to my dad as a present. It's by Carl Fogarty, who's was a British superbike racing champion in the 90s, and my dad was into bikes, so I grew up watching him win all the time on TV. But he had a bad crash in 2000, I think, and retired. And this is like stuff he's written about, random anecdotes on his time in the world of world superbikes. Yeah, what else did I get that's not comics? Oh yeah, this. Yeah, right, another Japanese learning book. Learn to read in Japanese. So yeah, if you have enough Japanese learning books, you just kind of learn it by osmosis, apparently. That's what I'm hoping will happen anyway. Seriously. I'll put that there, that's better. Right. Seriously, this is it's got what they say is the something most useful kanji. 608 target kanji, the one most commonly used, and 4,200 practice sentences. So at each chapter, find the beginning of a chapter. This is a really long chapter. Okay, right, they tell you some new some new kanji with the number of readings, and then down the bottom is the actual readings. And there's a gajillion sentences to read with the Romaji, which is Japanese in Roman letters, and then the English underneath. But the Japanese is kind of semi-literally translated, so you know what things actually mean. So, excuse me, because as for tomorrow at 9 at Yamakawa Trade, I'm scheduled to meet Tsukino. Yeah, so they're kind of like translated semi-literally, so you know what each phrase kind of means, because some things don't directly translate or mean more than one thing. So yeah, I'm going to have a bash at this and see how well I do. Yeah. By the elevator, please go to the 5th floor. So that's kind of like the literal order of the words in Japanese, so you know which part of it matches to the actual practice sentence. So yeah, have a go at that, and it's quite big too. And they had a volume 2 of this, so maybe I'll be tempted to go back and get that as well. Maybe. Spent a fair old bit on this haul, so maybe not. Anyway, let's get on to the actual comics. Let's begin with a bunch of big 2. Let's begin with a non-big 2 one. It's this, the Satsuma Rebellion, which is sort of decent to put this microphone right, like semi realistic Japanese history, true stories, but written in comic format, and by Akiko Shimojima, who's apparently a leading manga artist, although I don't know who that is at all, but yeah, actually from California, but yeah, possibly somebody who worked in like the first or second boom of the US made manga in from Tokyo Pop or Antarctic Press, or maybe an actual Japanese artist who I've just not heard of. But anyway, yeah, looks like this. And yeah, bizarrely for some reason it reminds me more of a Vietnamese propaganda comic I've got about the early life of Ho Chi Minh, or the early involvement of Ho Chi Minh in the Indochina War, which turned into the Vietnam War. And yeah, it reminds me more of a Vietnamese one than the Japanese ones, but never mind. Let's stick these in rough order. Okay, let's start off with the actual comics. We have Spider-Man Light in the Darkness, which is quite a hefty one. So this is reprints from 99 and 2000. It seems to be, it's from Peter Parker Spider-Man 20 to 33, Spider-Man Annual 2000, and Amazing Spider-Man 25 all formed this story. And yeah, my general rule for the big two is if it's not an Olympic medal, it's not worth having, which has kind of been expanded into 20th century or bust, but apparently some of the early 21st century stuff was good too, so yeah, experimenting with that. Kind of typical artwork of the era, kind of early computer colouring, but still kind of flatted. The shading's kind of like what's called cell shading, with just the odd little bit of gradient here and there. I actually quite like that colouring style. So yeah, that'll be worth a look. And then something else I've heard good things about is Fantastic Four Heroes Reborn, which is from around 98 to, okay, from 1998. So, Fantastic Four 1 to 15, the 1998 series, not the originals. Fantastic Four Annual 1998, and for some reason Iron Man issue 14 from 1998 make up this story. So yeah, that's the nice logical ordering of American comics. I wonder why no one can get into them. And yeah, this is also pretty similar colouring style of the time, but a bit more kind of gradienty, not quite so flat. Actually, okay, this looks that's quite flat actually. But then some of the other ones are more kind of like kind of or I don't know how to describe it, like gradienty, less cell shaded style. Used to be restricted only to the covers of comics, but made its way inside when digital colouring got bigger, and especially around the turn of the century. Okay, let's go on to the DC. We have Super Sons, Super Sons, which is from 2019, which normally I'd yeah, I steer well clear of anything from the big two that was so recent, but I heard good things about this on YouTube. Apparently it was just good, clean fun, although obviously what they've done to Superboy since is yeah, but this was before all that, so apparently this was just good, clean fun, adventuring across America fighting bad guys, so I'm going to give that a go. And it was only not much, probably about 700 and something yen, so not too much if it's no good. And the last one is Kingdom Come, which is yeah, it's got Superman, but it appears to be a gigantic DC crossover, and the artwork in this is something else, all fully painted and absolutely wonderful artwork, and cameos from loads of characters I don't recognise and never heard of. So yeah, look at this, all fully painted artwork. They put a lot of effort into this one, and we do unfortunately have this name on the cover, but yeah, as I said, it's remaindered, so he didn't get anything from this, or he did get something from this a long time ago, whenever the shop bought it. I suppose they can't return it from Japan. And yeah, mostly for the art is why I got this, just to sit and look at it. Is that I guess this is Ghost Rider, but Ghost Rider who's not on fire, so he looks more like Golden Bat. And if you don't know who Golden Bat is, why are you here? And yeah, it appears that Captain Marvel, or Shazam, is the bad guy for some reason. But yeah, I have to have a proper look at that. And that's actually it. Okay, seems like I bought a lot more. I've got to find shelf space for all this, so I told myself I bought a lot, but actually I didn't buy that much. So yeah, that was a quick stream, only just over 10 minutes. Right, maybe someone will even watch this one on the replay. So yeah, that was the Hank who made a cheap foreign book sale haul so far. I did see a gigantic, like A3 sized French comic, but in English, that was about 2,000 yen. That I couldn't be bothered at the time, but maybe I'll go back and see if it's still there. Because this is a warehouse clearance, they put out stuff as things sell out, so I'll go back towards the end of the sale and there might be completely different stuff. And yeah, I saw lots of copies of Volume 1 of High Score Girl, but none of Volume 3 and beyond. And no books of Legends of the Galactic Heroes from number 3 and beyond either, so I guess I'm going to have to order them online sometime. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yes.